Hey, good afternoon. Maybe you guys are on a lunch break today. Maybe you're tuning in. Maybe you're going to watch this on the replay. If you're going to watch it on the replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay in here. So I know that you're catching this then and you're not catching it live. Today, I was going to go live at 1 o'clock to talk about consistency. I have to sign on a little early, and maybe that's favorable for you, but I have to sign on a little early because my daughter is going to graduate from fourth grade today. Her school has their lower school until fourth grade, and she's going to go to middle school next year, which is blowing my mind. And her ceremony's at 2:15, and I don't want to be late. So I'm just going to come on in here early and expect that anybody who wanted to hear about consistency will get plenty of good tips and great motivations today from our Facebook Live. It is Manifest Your Dream Health Mondays. This is a series that I've been doing where we really dream about the health that we want. And then we put into place some practical advice, non-dieting advice, in order to be able to have and achieve your dream health. I've been talking about consistency a lot. I did a poll in the group the other day, and most people said that they start strong for a few weeks, but then it falls apart for a few months. And I'm definitely not a stranger to that. That's the way that I used to live my life. I'm going to talk about why we do that, and what's happening for us, why we end up being inconsistent, and even the way that we see ourselves. Some people also said that it depends on the day that they're having. So for sure, like if your mood is all over the place or your energy levels are all over the place, of course it's going to depend on the day that you're having. If that's you, then I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and watch the masterclass that I did the other week on day 2, because in day 2 I talk about the energetic imbalances that happen in our body that lead us to feeling kind of crappy inside of our bodies. And so I know that if I have a crummy mood or digestion, my focus is all over the place, or my energy levels are out of whack, I'm definitely going to be inconsistent. So consistency isn't just about having the dream and putting into place the things that you're going to do in order to get there and holding yourself accountable for it, which is hard in the first place, right? It's also a part of balancing your internal body system so that you have a body that works for you and not against you. What you want out of your life is how you should treat yourself. And if it's hard for you to do that, that's why we're here. That's why we're in this group. And that's what I'm here to support you with today, is to talk about consistency and give you a way to be able to continue to be consistent with your health goals, whether it's with your eating, with your exercise, with your lifestyle. I don't want you guys to give up on yourselves anymore. So if you're struggling with consistency, I'm going to show you how you can start your day, your week, your month being consistent, and then never give up on yourself again. Okay. So if that sounds good, even on the replay, let me know. Sounds good. Awesome. Can't wait. I'm ready to be consistent. I would like to break you free from your inconsistent patterns. It wasn't too long ago that I thought to myself, how am I going to lose weight today? How am I going to love my body today? What program do I need to do? What diet do I need to be on? And I tried Weight Watchers, I tried South Beach, I tried gym memberships, I tried personal trainers, I tried calorie counting, I tried juice fasts and cleanses, I tried running marathons. If you've done any of these things, let me know in the comments. You can put WW for Weight Watchers, SBD for South Beach Diet, gym memberships, PT for personal trainers, CC for calorie counting, maybe JF for juice fasts. And if you've signed up for extensive running programs like marathons in order to lose weight, not just because you feel like you're a runner and you want to increase your confidence and you want to run a marathon and it's a part of something you want out of your life, but if you did it because you were like, this is what's going to solve my weight problems, I want to know about that, because that's how I used to live my life. I used to think, how am I going to lose weight? What do I need to sign up for? What's going to actually fix me? And as you can see, because I have a long list of things that I've tried, those things never helped me be more consistent with taking care of my health. It's not like I reached my goal weight and all of a sudden it was like, awesome, I'm consistent now. In fact, the opposite happened. Eventually, I wanted to stop tracking points. And let me know in the comments if this has happened to you before. You want to stop tracking points. You want to stop eating low carb. You want to stop going to the gym. You want to stop paying for a personal trainer. You want to stop counting calories. You want to stop the juice fast, and you want to stop running endless miles in order to meet a goal weight. I know I'm not alone in this because the women that I work with have tried all of these things and then come and say, I just can't keep it together and I just can't be consistent with my health. And you've likely tried these things to help yourself lose weight. And you've likely purchased special supplements or programs to improve gut health, decrease inflammation, all in the name of weight loss. And that's exactly where consistency breaks down. It's exactly where it breaks down. And it's what I had to unwind for myself and how I work with my clients now to get out of that cycle of wanting in the weight loss and into their bodies and making choices for themselves to help them be consistent, because we want to turn around and see ourselves as powerful, as flexible with our needs, as being able to follow through. And the reason we can't follow through is because we keep getting on something instead of looking within ourselves. Women in particular do this all of the time. They feel fat. They have it confirmed by social media. They find a solution for burning fat. And then they use the dopamine driven excitement from some sort of new reel that they saw, or some sort of new program that they saw, or something that a friend told them they did, that they lost 5 pounds in 1 week. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's what I want. And you get all excited and then you want to buy it again. And then you do. And then the dopamine wears off. And what happens? Usually between weeks 3 and 6, after 5 pounds or so, you just don't want to do it anymore. You just don't want to do it anymore. And I get it. I've been there. Every woman that I've worked with has been there. So what ends up happening? We remember that every time we've tried something, we've failed. Every time I tried Weight Watchers, I failed. Every time I tried South Beach, I failed. Every time I did a juice fast, I failed. It all ends up feeding our failure. It reminds us that we are unworthy of investing in our health because we think that those diets are health. And it confirms the suspicion we have about ourselves that we are unworthy of investing in ourselves because we are failures. That's what makes us inconsistent. I want to say it again. Because we keep forking money out for these quick, dopamine-driven fat loss programs instead of investing in ourselves, we feel like we are failures and unworthy of continuing to invest in ourselves. And so we are burnt out on spending money on the most important parts of our health because we feel like we're going to fail anyway. We spend all this time making sure that the diet's going well, checking in on your weight without an awareness of what's actually working for your body or for your mind. And by the end of it, you're burned out on counting, on tracking, and doing all of that because you've been on something instead of taking care of yourself. When we're on the diet, it is all about following the rules. When you stop the diet, it's about following yourself. So I want to ask you, what sounds more exhausting? Being on a diet over and over and over again, sure to fail because history repeats itself, or to start trusting yourself and making decisions for yourself that work, get you to the same result, but allow you to have the life that you want with consistency. You can stop the exhaustion of fad dieting. You have the power to do that. You have the power to stop the exhausting cycle of going back to diet after diet after diet and 6-week promises by deciding that today you're listening to yourself, to your body, to what's going on inside of you. I had a client who came in who'd been dieting since she was a teenager, and she couldn't get to the bottom of what was holding her back from losing weight. It took her one session with me, one session to get clear on what was holding her back to be motivated to consistently do the work without a diet plan. And she didn't need to follow a rigid rule. She needed to identify what it was that was standing in her way. And today, I'm going to help you guys do that. Without even booking a call with me, I'm going to tell you one very simple way that you can do that so that you can identify for yourself what your most impactful action could be that you could take, and then a most impactful action that you could take that you could release. Okay, so all of us who are dealing with imbalances in the body is usually because we need to enhance something that we're not doing and let go of something that we are doing. So when we can think about it in that way, you're not like adding on a whole new diet and a whole new program and all of these things. You're actually balancing yourself out with plus ones and minus ones. And for my client who ended up doing this with me on the phone, she knew that I wasn't going to give her a meal plan or ask her for her weight for the duration of our time working together, which was life-changing. She got to drop into her body and listen to what it was saying rather than follow a plan that doesn't last. I want you guys to see the difference, because I work with women who've tried crazy, rigid, rule-based fad diet plans to lose weight, and who are yo-yo dieting and keep going back to the diets just like I did 10 years ago, over and over again, without getting a new result. And when they do, then it starts to self-sabotage, and then the inconsistency comes in. And all anyone wants is some sort of a plan that actually works. That's why we keep going back to these things. Like, oh, maybe it's going to work this time. Maybe it's willpower. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe I didn't have enough space in my life. Maybe it wasn't possible for me to get fresh groceries. And we start bringing in all of these external circumstances and blaming everything around us. It's not true. The problem is the diet, not you. So the number one critical step to consistency is first to identify your why, which we've been doing in the Manifest Your Dream Health Mondays. Why do you want to be healthier? How would it benefit you to lose 10 pounds or whatever it is that you want? How would that benefit you? How does it benefit your life? How does it benefit your work? How does it benefit your relationships? How does it benefit your health overall? We can't keep just setting a number and deciding that's what we want to go to, and that our life beyond our wildest dreams is when we get to that number. So we get to say, okay, let me imagine what the healthiest version of myself is doing. What is she saying? What is she thinking? How is she feeling? What time does she get up in the morning? What time does she go to bed at night? How often is she prepping food? What is she eating most of the time? And if you're not sure about what that is for yourself, think about or ask somebody who you believe is leading their healthiest life and ask them, how are you doing that? How are you doing it? And I give you guys tons of free videos about how I do it myself. And you're free to ask me. Okay. You can always ask me questions. You can go back to the archive of videos of how do we do this, or back to the masterclass that I did. I believe that was last week, on how do you do it? But you can ask yourself, what is she doing? So we get to identify the why, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what it looks like, how often I'm doing it, and get really excited about that. Because if you can see it, if you can see the healthiest version of yourself, you can absolutely 1,000% be the healthiest version of yourself. Once you get crystal clear on what that could look like for you, or you get crystal clear on what it looks like for someone else, and you're like, wow, again, if you can see somebody else, that means that you are bringing that vision into your reality. Okay, this is how manifesting works. Like, oh my gosh, I see that. It's amazing. And look at what they're doing. I want that. I want that. So you get to want that and be one with that, and know that you are calling that into your universe. If you notice what somebody's doing and you get like a little pang of jealousy for a second, set that jealousy to the side and remind yourself, that's actually not me being jealous. That's me noticing what's possible for myself. You absolutely get to have that. So here's the other thing that I want you guys to do. Once you get crystal clear on that, I want you to write down 2 columns. Okay. You have column 1 and column 2. On one column, you're going to write down all of the behaviors that you believe you've been doing that get in the way of you having that vision that you see, whether it's for yourself or somebody else. Okay. So all of the things that have gotten in the way, that's your -1 column. In the other column next to it, I want you to write down all of the things you could do to have the healthiest version of yourself, or that vision that you have, or the respect that you have for somebody else, what you believe they're doing, or what you believe you could do. That's your +1 column. So you've got a -1 column and you've got your +1 column. You might write in the -1 column things like eating late at night, drinking too much alcohol, oversleeping, things like that. Like these are the things that you do that you know get in your own way. And then in the +1 column, you might write things down like include vegetables in my diet, sleep well, exercise daily. These are things that we know would feel better in our body, but we tend to maybe put them to the side or deprioritize them for some reason. Okay. So once you have those 2 columns, you get to see how you've been getting in your own way and what is possible for you. If you come up with these ideas, you're leaning into the potential, your energetic potential and possibility of actually including them in your life. And then you have choices to change that. When we see it down on paper and we write it down, and we can be honest with ourselves about this. So don't skip the part where you're writing it down. We can be honest with ourselves about it. Then we have a chance to say, okay, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is how I'm getting in my way. And this is how I'm going to get out of my way, because I truly want the vision that I have for myself. And I want that now. And I want it today. And I'm not going to give up on myself. Oftentimes we make these promises to ourselves for so long without really seeing what we want to change and why. That's a huge part of inconsistency, is not slowing down enough to really identify what's actually going on for us. So in this way, you're actually creating your own plan and your own rules. And if you're not sure of what health should look like for you and your body, that's a huge way of how I work with women in my program. I help them understand what's actually going to work for them and their unique bodies, rather than getting on another diet plan. Because once you understand what works for you, and once you understand how to tailor it to you and what's possible for you and your body and your life, then you don't want to give it up. It's not, oh, I'm getting to 3 weeks and I can't sustain this diet anymore. It's getting to 3 weeks and being like, wow, I feel more like myself now. I feel more like myself now. And on top of it, you get support from me. You get a support group. You get direct feedback from me. And you get a community of women who are trying to do the same thing that you're doing. And a community of women who have achieved what you want, which is perhaps one of the most powerful parts, right? So consistency also comes with accountability. And I want to tell you guys another huge secret to consistency. And I just posted about this. I teach women to learn to want the things that most people feel like they have to do. I will teach you to learn how to want to love yourself into health, instead of feeling like you have to do this thing as another part of your to-do list. I want to get up early because I want to be good at my job. I want to show up for the women who I work with on Zoom in the morning when we do strength training together. I want to show up for the women who I work with when we run together, and they want to show up too. They want to show up not just for themselves, but for other people too. And then you can see that common experience. We want to do that. We don't feel like we have to. There's not an obligation. You want to deep inside of yourself, especially when you start to see things change. I eat what I want. The women I work with eat what they want too. It just so happens that we teach our bodies to crave what we want that is going to be the most beneficial for us the majority of the time. Because without that, we feel cranky, bloated, unmindful, and frustrated. I don't want to be like that. I want to live my life fully and feel present and feel powerful and feel strong and not be distracted by my body. And every single woman I work with feels the same way. They don't want that. And if you do want to feel good, then you have a responsibility to figure out what's working for your body and to not feel badly about that. I go to sleep when I want to. When I'm tired, I welcome rest. I want that because without it, I am miserable. I can't make it through the day without dark and anxious thoughts when I'm exhausted. And I bet you feel that way too. And you get to teach yourself to want to wind down and rest appropriately and balance your nervous system and balance out cortisol, which is a wreck for like 90% of people walking around in this world. Why? Because they don't want to sleep. They want to keep performing and doing and continuing to work through all hours of the night and binge watching shows. They have the wanting all flipped around and backwards, but you can teach yourself to want the things that are good for you. I drink what I want. I drink non-alcoholic beer and fake wine and de-alcoholized gin and sometimes, but mostly tea, water, coffee, and seltzer. If I drink alcohol, I feel like crap. Most of us do. Yet we get stuck thinking that what we want is a buzz, or what we want is the social experience. But you can teach yourself to want to feel healthy and to feel like you don't have a hangover and to feel like you're powerful in your life. You can teach yourself to want that. That might be drinking less. It might be not drinking at all. For me, I can't stop drinking alcohol once I drink it. It became a non-negotiable for me because every single time it ruined my health goals. Every single time, 100% of the time. So maybe the idea occurs to me, right? I want to drink, but then I think, you know what? I want clarity and I want health and I want to feel good and I want to feel present and I want to exercise tomorrow morning without feeling like crap. I want that more. I want that even more. I work when I want to. Being an entrepreneur is hard. I think about my job nonstop, and maybe you do too. If something needs to get done, I'm responsible for doing it 100% of the time. But because I work when I want, I also know when to ask for help. If I need to work late at night, I know when to ask for help. I know when to set boundaries with my kids so I can get what I want with my job. You can learn how to do that. You can learn how to do that. I surround myself with the relationships that I want, and I set boundaries against the ones that I don't. I've had to make a lot of tough decisions surrounding relationships. And the truth is, we don't have to fix all of our relationships. Some of them are meant to be exactly as they are. Some matured and some are ready to keep going. Some are just starting. All of them are 100% beautiful and amazing. I love every relationship that I've ever had and all of the ones that continue and even the ones that have fallen apart. It's okay. And we don't have to keep all of that around. The key to health isn't forcing yourself to make tough decisions that you feel like you have to do. It's teaching yourself to want what's best for you in every single moment. That's consistency. As long as you know what you want is best. So do the 2-column exercise. Imagine, what is it that I want in my life when I have the health that I'm looking for? What is it that I truly want? Imagine that. What are the -1 things, the things that have been getting in my way that I can start releasing? What are the +1 things that I can start adding in so that I can have that? It's very simple. And you get to ask yourself that question without going on another diet that's going to fail you. This isn't failure. This is you asking yourself what's going to work for you. And if you need help or support, then I can help you get there. And if you want to have a call with me, I'm offering you a 45-minute call to be able to step into your wanting, into what's important to you, and to take action in alignment with who you are instead of getting on another diet. It's not about the food. It's about knowing truly what you want and making sure that the actions you take are in alignment with that, not with another diet plan. I'm going to throw the link to book a call with me so that we can have that 45-minute discussion and see if my program is right. I have a few spots left. Actually, I have one spot that I'm looking to fill for the full summer program for the energetic eating method. And I would love for someone in our group to be able to take that spot. I gave up on myself so many times until I realized that what drives success for women who are always giving up on themselves is the process that I told you about today, but also as a solution or a method that can meet your needs where you are, the community of people, and then an expert to get you there. All of these are so important for consistency. So start with your vision, +1s, -1s, and then decide what support do you need in order to be able to do that. Some of us are okay on our own. Some of us really need that extra support for a period of time in order to be able to have it stick. So I'll go ahead and put that link in there. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to get going to my daughter's graduation. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and let me know with the replay, #replay. And let me know if you'd like to join us in the energetic eating method. I can't wait to see you soon.